Hello and welcome to another video for Midas Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles. And today we are looking at something that is incredibly old and very rare nowadays and is absolutely awesome in my opinion. We are looking at the 1965 release by Waddingtons House of Games from their series of Instant Pictures. Now Instant Pictures was basically little comic strip boards that you would get with stories on them, and you would get some rub-off transfers that you would have to place onto the picture and rub the transfers off to create your own picture, and then you colour in the background. So that's what the Instant Pictures was all about. And this particular one we are looking at today is from Gerry Anderson's Thunderbirds, and this is the front of the packet. And it says, make your own thrilling Thunderbird stories. And it's copyright 1965 by AP Films Limited. And it's with Waddingtons Instant Pictures, I should say. And it says there's 3 stories in this particular set, which is the Spy Catcher, Island Disaster, and Space Rescues. And it says exciting story strips to make and colour with Instant Pictures you just rub down. And you can see an image of one of the Tracy boys in their international rescue outfit. And you can see, I presume it's Scott Tracy, and you can see an image of Thunderbird 1 blasting off. And it's got a John Waddington Limited, Let Reset Limited product. And then you've got all the copyright and licensing information at the bottom in very small letters. Okay, so that is the front of the board. Now, these particular boards, this is what was at the front. When you turned it over to the back, they opened up to be the comic strips, and the stickers were contained inside the back. So I'm just going to turn it around and let's have a look at the comic strips and the stickers, or the transfers, I should say. Okay, so I've turned the board around and this is what we got. Now, before I actually open it up and we have a look at the comic strips, this gives you the instructions and shows you the transfers. So it says how to make your picture stories. Position the right instant pictures on the faint outline shapes in each frame, then simply rub down the instant pictures. It says how to rub down your instant pictures. Cut picture sheet as marked, peel away the backing paper. Number 2, slide backing paper under other pictures to prevent transfer. So obviously, so you don't start rubbing the wrong one. Press down picture in position. Take care not to rub over any of the other pictures yet, otherwise they start to come off as well. Shade closely all over picture with ballpoint pen. Do not rub too hard. Peel back picture sheet. Lay backing paper on picture. Rub over with thumbnail. And when completed, colour in the pictures with crayons or pencils. Do not rub too hard. And it says this is your sheet of instant pictures. And there you can see, and it gives you the 3 stories. So you got Island Disaster, Space Rescue, and Spy Catcher. So each of those, this bottom section goes with a Spy Catcher story. The middle section is with a Space Rescue story. And the top ones are the Island Disaster story. Okay, you can see they are transfers, and on the back you've got this other sheet which is keeping them nice and crisp in the back there. And you peel that away like this when you are ready to rub the transfers onto the pictures. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to move those transfers out of the way so I don't damage them. And then if I open up the story card here, let's just zoom out a little bit so we can get the whole card in. There we go. So at the top, the very top one is called Island Disaster. And it says, Hood has located International Rescue's island base and leaving Scott unconscious, he takes off in Thunderbird 1. Unfamiliar with the controls, Hood pulls the wrong lever and Thunderbird 1 plunges into the sea. John in the Space Monitor sees what this happened and calls for Thunderbird 4 to be sent to the rescue. Hovering over the submerged but undamaged machine, Thunderbird 4 is launched into the sea. Helped by the buoyancy of the water, Thunderbird 4 tows the immobilised machine to the surface and back to the island. The frightened Hood is handed over to the international police, and Thunderbird 1 is restored to its underground base. Okay, and there you've got all the gaps. You can see the slight outline on the images where you have to rub your transfers in. Space Rescue, a crew member of a British space station, has fallen from the station and is orbiting Earth at a fantastic speed. His oxygen supply is rapidly running out. Brains of International Rescue creates a daring rescue plan, calling for fantastically accurate calculations and split-second timing. Alan and Scott in Thunderbird 3, fitted with special equipment, are launched on a calculated interceptor course. Thunderbird 3 must pass within 10 feet of the man as he orbits. They pass, and Brain's plan worked. As they passed, Thunderbird's pressure chamber doors opened, and a powerful magnet acting on the crewman's metal-weighted boots draws him into the safety of its interior. Returned to his Earth base, the grateful crewman waves his hand as Alan and Scott leave for their island base. And again, you've got the images in the dotted areas for you to rub the transfers onto. And finally, Lady Penelope Spycatcher. Lady Penelope receives a signal through her radionic teapot that Brains has been kidnapped by Hood and is being driven to a waiting plane. Locating Brains by means of his wristwatch communicator, she rapidly pursues the spy's car in her pink Rolls-Royce Fab 1. Hood is unaware of the message Lady Penelope transmits to Brains via her powder compact transmitter, explaining how she intends to rescue him. As Fab 1 pulls alongside Hood's car, Brains flings open the door, hurls himself into the rescue net projecting from the side of the Rolls-Royce, and is safely drawn into the car. Allowing Hood's car to draw ahead, Lady Penelope instructs Parker to open fire with Fab 1's frontal machine guns. Brains and the secret of international rescue are saved, and the villainous Hood has again met his match in the glamorous with the glamorous Lady Penelope. Okay, so that is 3 stories, and again you can see on the bottom story you've got the outlines for the stickers to be rubbed in. So very, very classic design, which there used to be an awful lot of these sets available back in the early days. Again, back in the 60s and 70s and the 80s, we really didn't have any internet. We had, I think in the 80s, we had VHS recorders came out, but there was no, I don't think there was any DVDs back in the 80s. It was all video cassettes. But prior to that, in the 60s, there was nothing. So if you didn't see your television program, you missed it. Or you had to wait for reruns to see your favourite TV show. And keep you occupied during transmission of the show or in between seasons. There was lots of merchandise that was produced to keep you excited about the television program. Thunderbirds was a very, very popular program and run for 2 seasons, 65 to 66. And it spawned a couple of movies as well. Unfortunately, the movies didn't do as well as I think the Andersons had hoped. It was supposed to catapult them to huge stardom, which unfortunately it didn't, because everybody had seen Thunderbirds on the small screen. Moving it to the big screen didn't quite work. But anyway, that's another story. So finding merchandise or having merchandise like this, like annuals, activity books, storybooks and so on, was how we got to relive the television series back in the 1960s. And the Instant Pictures was a big line back in the 60s and 70s. So they would you find all sorts of different ones in the comic shops or the toy, more the comic shops actually, and the news agents back in those days. So you will find lots of these on the shelves, hanging up on the round display stands, and yeah, you would go and pick your one you want. There was all sorts of different ones for different television programs or different football teams or different pop stars or what have you, and you would make your own stories as you went along. Some of them had the comic strips in them. Some of them were just images, and you would just rub your pictures onto the images to create your own story. So it was a exciting time. These were great things to do and kept you occupied, and you could relive the story over and over again. You could make this unique to yourself by putting the pictures in and then colouring it your own way to your own specifications. So they were great, and they kept the kids occupied for many, many hours of the day. I had loads of these when I was a kid. There was untold ones I had so many different favourite television programmes. I was very fickle when it comes to sci-fi and action television series. I was into them all. I had so much of these that I would do and then move on to their one. Each weekend, when my dad went and got my pocket money, or got my comic, I'll give him my pocket money to get me another one of these. So I had a lot of these back in the day. Of course, nowadays we're talking nearly 60 years, 59 years ago. This particular set was produced. So yeah, 59 years on. My God, is it really that far? Oh, there we are. That's a long, long time ago. But do they come up very often for sale on the platforms? Well, they don't come up for very often. There has been some recently come up, because I think there was a batch of these that were found that have been discovered in a shop. I think there was a case of them. It might have been a shop or a warehouse, and there was a whole case of these that were found, and they have been making their way out to the collectors. So that happened a while ago, and there's still a few of them that do pop up on the platforms every so often, I believe, from that series. So occasionally they pop up, or alternatively, we at Midas Touch have managed to find quite a few of these sets, and they are currently available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to quite simply by clicking the link below. It'll take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Gerry Anderson items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I am absolutely positive that this is something you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new products which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there is something in particular you are looking for, something old that you never been able to find, something quirky that you might want to buy for a friend, or maybe just something from your childhood that you like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories. Well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this product with me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next time.